An article in today's papers got us talking this morning. It's by novelist Amanda Revel-Walton, who says that despite going through several rounds of IVF in her bid to have a baby, she's now glad that she doesn't have kids. She says this realisation was followed by feelings of guilt and shame, and that she feels like she's coming out of the closet by confessing that she's happy she didn't have children. Guilt and shame, Janet, do they figure in your vocabulary?
No, this article enraged me because, honestly, there is no guilt and no shame in my life. I am a guilt-free zone. Whatever I've done, not done, the people I've been with, the children I haven't had, no shame, no guilt. And this kind of article, by implying that guilt and shame are somehow connected to the idea of not having kids, is very detrimental to women, I think. It links, you know, guilt and shame with being a woman once again. So I'm just telling people at home, if you haven't had kids, you're fine. In fact, it's your decision and it should remain that way.
Do people ask you why you haven't had children?
Well, the first person was obviously my mother. So... from the age of 21, because my first marriage was when I was 20 or 21, within literally 5 minutes, she was on the phone, "Are you going to have kids?" And I went, "Get a dog." Just get a dog. In the end, my sister gave her a grandchild, but there was this idea that you had to, you know, get one in for your mum. So after that, no, I've never wanted children, and I've had, you know, husbands have come and gone, boyfriends have come and gone, and, you know, now I'm a dog lover and I've got Badger, which, you know, is my partner got Badger and I'm co-parenting Badger. That's quite enough, but there's no guilt, no shame.
There is a lot of guilt and shame around it, though, isn't it? I mean, yes. I don't... I've made the decision I don't want to have children. It's nothing to do with my disability. I just don't really want to have children. But I did grow up with a mum who was very transparent with me from quite a young age, always saying, you know, having children, be careful, think about it. Think about it long and hard before you do it. She never sugarcoated it. She always said, things about your life will change, this and this and this. And I think it fed into my decision-making, for sure. And I have to say, as much as the article, I can see why it enraged you, and I think it did feed into that whole shame and guilt thing, even though I was trying not to. I think it did this thing that I quite like, which is when I see women in society sort of saying, by the way, you might not regret it if you don't have kids. It could be OK. I think we don't see that story enough. So if you are somebody who, like me, is thinking maybe they won't, it's quite nice to read a story where someone says, I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel any regret about it. I feel great and life's good. It's kind of like...
funny, though, because nobody actually... When you have children, nobody sits you down and goes, so tell me, why did you decide to have children?
Oh, no, it's always the other way.
Yeah, it's always the other way round.
And I think wrongly, women who don't have them, they think, well, you must be really selfish. And I actually think it's the opposite. It's quite selfless to say, actually, I'm going to do the responsible thing here. I don't think it's for me. I'm not sure. So I'm making the decision not to do it. And, you know, there are lots of women that have had children and do regret it. You know, and regret sounds like such a final word because regret can be fleeting moments of regret. You know, it's OK as a mum to hanker after your old life, you know, BC, but before child. That's equally OK too. But I think we have to, like you said, stop attaching that shame to it, that guilt, and making women feel bad because we don't ask men the same questions around being a parent or choosing not to be a parent. It's just not a conversation we have with men.
No, and there's this new fashion now where people are saying, oh, I'm not having children to save the planet. Why do they... I mean, why tag that on the end of it? There are
you have to have a reason, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the thing. You have to have a reason. It's like, why aren't you having kids? Oh, because of this, this, and this. And then those arguments can get picked at. They can get debated. If I say, oh, I don't want to have kids because I like my career, well, I can list a number of women who've got a great career and have kids. So there's always that kind of, like, both sides of the debate. But at the moment, if you could say it's bad for the planet, then it's an argument that maybe might end there.
I must say it's something I don't ask people. I'm trying to remember whether I used to and I learned a lesson or... But I deliberately, if I know that someone hasn't got children, I never ask that question because you don't, again, know what the backstory is. So like you were saying earlier about disability, it could bring up a trauma for somebody. And it could be the same. You know, it might be that they've just decided they don't want to have children, or it could be that that's a great sadness.
Well, a good example is Theresa May. because Theresa May was childless, and yet the press and, you know, there was this constant speculation about why Theresa May, who had a very loving husband, Philip, why they hadn't had children, as if the Prime Minister should have to discuss that. And then she issued a statement in the end. I don't know if Theresa May issued it or whether it was issued on her behalf, to say that she couldn't have children. Now, I don't think she should have had to enter into that debate, because it didn't make her a better or worse Prime Minister. And as you've said, we wouldn't ask men those kind of questions. We wouldn't say to Boris, we know that Boris Johnson's perfectly capable of having children.
So is this...
As there's quite a few, you know...
So is this article we're discussing, is it helpful or is it unhelpful? Because, do you know what I mean? You're sort of saying it's nice to see somebody...
I don't think there's any harm in seeing the side of the story which says, I didn't have kids and it was OK. We don't see it enough. I mean, I'm not particularly a fan of the article myself, but I think that side of the story is one we could do with. It's helpful for women who decided not to. It's helpful for women who've decided to have kids and to stop being so judgmental of those decisions. I think it's helpful, definitely.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be a physical or medical reason why not. We can just believe people that say, not for me, thanks. You know, that's enough.
Yeah. No guilt, no shame, Janet.
Love that. No
there we
guilt,
go.
no shame.
Get it on the top.
I'll get a badge made for you.